Today, we're jumping into a short but wow, incredibly powerful story called The Dream of the Little Bird. It's a tale all about big ambitions, dealing with doubt, and finding out where our true strength really comes from. And it all kicks off with this really big question right at its heart. Is your physical size more important than the size of your dreams? Let's find out. So, picture this. Deep in this lush, dense forest, we meet our hero, a bird who was, tiny by any standard. But her dream? It was absolutely massive. So, what was this huge dream? Well, it was actually pretty simple, but, also completely impossible sounding. She just wanted to fly higher than anybody else in the entire forest, to literally touch the sky. You know how it is, right? A big dream in a small package, that's usually going to face some pushback. And that brings us to the first part of her journey, a real story of struggle and just unbreakable faith. This is what she heard, all the time from the other animals. And it wasn't a real question, it was a dismissal. It was a put down, really, designed to make her question herself. And why were they so doubtful? It was pretty simple, really. They just looked at her tiny wings, her small frame, and they just couldn't see past what was right in front of them. To them, her dream was just a joke. But did their laughter stop her? Nope, not at all. Instead, she got into this rhythm, this daily grind of pure determination. She'd fly as high as her little wings could take her. She would fall, but the most important part, she would always get back up and go again. And look, this wasn't easy. This whole process took a toll. She was often hurt, physically from all the falls and probably emotionally from all the doubt. But her spirit, that never wavered. She just never gave up. Okay, so every great story has that one moment, right? The big test, where everything you've been working for is on the line. For our little bird, that test came in the form of a giant storm. So just imagine it. The sky goes dark, the wind is just howling, and total chaos breaks out in this once calm forest. This wasn't just a little rain shower. It was a serious tempest, a real force of nature that was about to test everyone. And this is where things get really interesting, because it shows you the difference between looking strong and being strong. The big birds, the ones with the powerful wings, they freaked out. They panicked and hid. But our little hero? She did something completely different. She showed courage. So right then, in that moment of pure chaos, when every other animal was running for cover, she did something nobody expected. She flew right into the storm, spread her tiny wings, and faced that fierce wind head on. And that one single brave act, well, that brings us to the absolute peak of the story, what you can only call the true flight of courage. And here's the best part, the big twist. That wind, the very thing everyone was so scared of, it actually became her biggest help. Because she faced it instead of running from it, it didn't break her, it lifted her. Up and up she went, carried on the storm's power. She just kept going up, so high that the whole forest, the place that once felt so huge and intimidating, now looked tiny below her. She had actually done it. She had flown higher than anyone.
Meanwhile, what's happening on the ground? All those doubters, the ones who laughed, they're just staring up, mouths wide open, in complete and utter shock. The little bird they rode off was soaring above them all.
Okay, so what's the big lesson here? Because the story isn't just about her amazing flight. It's about unpacking the secret to her success. A lesson for those animals in the forest, and definitely for us too. It was like a light bulb went off for all the other animals. They finally got it. Greatness doesn't come from the size of your wings. It comes from the size of your courage. Courage, or as it's called in Hindi, himmat. That's what really gives you wings. And what about the little bird herself? Well, she just smiled and shared her own wisdom, the real starting point for everything. She said, the first step to making dreams come true is to believe in yourself. So really, it all boils down to this one powerful idea. It's a pretty simple recipe, right? But it's so true. If you stick with it, if you have courage and put in the hard work, you will always get where you're trying to go. Which leaves us with one final thought to chew on. This story, it's not really just about a bird, is it? It's about the potential inside all of us to fly past what we think are our limits. So the real question isn't what's holding you back. It's where will your courage take you?